Welcome back to Dashboard Chalkboard, a series by Echoes and Footprints. This week's episode is Radioactive. This episode examines how the automobile became America's first portable cultural chamber and how teenagers created modern music. Before the automobile became common, teenagers didn't really control music. They heard what adults allowed. Family radios dictated playlists. Record players were shared. Church and community shaped exposure. Music flowed from the top down. Authority controlled the dial. But after World War II, something historically unprecedented happened in America. Teenagers gained access to two new freedoms at the same time: transportation and sound. Cars became affordable. Radio broadcasting expanded nationally. Recorded music exploded. And suddenly, teenagers had their own listening environment: the automobile. Inside that environment, modern pop music began to take shape. The Dashboard remembered the lesson. The Dashboard introduced a break from the past. Once teenagers controlled the dashboard radio, the hierarchy cracked. Late-night AM stations carried rhythm and blues, gospel, and early rock far beyond the communities where those sounds originated. Powerful signals from stations like WLAC traveled hundreds of miles across the night sky. A suburban teenager in Indiana might hear Little Richard shouting through a dashboard speaker. A farm kid in Iowa might encounter Chuck Berry bending guitar strings into rhythm. A young listener cruising outside Detroit could hear Ray Charles blending gospel with rhythm and blues. And they heard it without supervision. Inside the car, boundaries softened. Experimentation felt safe. Identity could be rehearsed. The automobile created privacy within public space, and that privacy created taste independence. Cruising culture was created. By the 1960s and 70s, driving itself became a ritual. Young people didn't just drive to get somewhere, they drove to listen. Cruising culture spread through cities and small towns alike. Soul, rock, and early funk filled the air inside cars. Bass lines vibrated through metal frames. Backbeats synchronized with rolling tires. Songs like No Particular Place to Go by Chuck Berry, Fun 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 by the Beach Boys, and Mustang Sally by Wilson Pickett weren't just about cars. They were written for cars. Tempo matched cruising speed. Bass lines echoed rolling wheels. Choruses invited everyone inside the vehicle to sing along. The automobile became rehearsal room, dance floor, and emotional sanctuary. There's also a deeper reason teenagers gravitated toward groove-based music. Driving requires rhythm. You maintain tempo. You anticipate movement. You adjust speed in small increments. Groove-based music, blues, soul, rhythm and blues, funk, supports exactly that state of mind. The backbeat stabilizes attention. Repetition reduces cognitive fatigue. Bass anchors movement. The body syncs with rhythm while navigating space and speed. Teenagers didn't just listen to groove. They experienced groove in motion. The road trained the ear. In Detroit, mobility met sound. Detroit sits at the center of this transformation. The city built automobiles, and it built Motown. Auto factories produced youth mobility. Motown produced its soundtrack. Young workers built cars during the day and drove them at night, listening to music recorded in the same city. Industrial rhythm and musical rhythm reinforced one another. Assembly line repetition echoed the backbeat. Driving synchronized labor and sound. America quite literally moved to the beat it produced. Teenagers become cultural drivers. As cruising culture spread, teenagers gained something new: cultural power. Through repeated listening, shared rides, and late-night radio discovery, youth collectively decided which songs mattered. Record labels began watching teenage drivers. Radio programmers began watching teenage drivers. Artists began writing for teenage drivers. For the first time in modern history, the primary audience shaping popular music was not adults, it was youth. The Dashboard classroom had produced its most influential students. Why this matters. Modern pop music did not emerge only from recording studios. It emerged from listening environments. And one of the most important listening environments in American history was the automobile. Inside the car, teenagers controlled the dial. Taste spread through shared rides. Songs repeated during long drives. And groove became the language of youth culture. The road became the rehearsal space for modern pop music. Here's the echoes and footprints insight. The beat route here is unmistakable. Southern rhythm, migration north, radio towers, dashboard speakers, teenage autonomy, modern pop architecture. The automobile did not invent groove, but it gave groove new territory. Teenagers claimed that territory, and in doing so, they reshaped American sound. This series, Dashboard Chalkboard, explores that hidden classroom, where highways met radio waves, where youth discovered rhythm independence, and where the automobile quietly became the laboratory for modern pop music. Next time on Dashboard Chalkboard, we step into the most surprising classroom of all, math and science. Because the rhythms driving blues, soul, funk, and hip-hop aren't random. They follow patterns, ratios, equations. 2 trains, 2 rhythms, 1 groove. Our next episode, Acing the Test, we explore the math of the beat. And trust me, you've been studying for it your whole life. This has been Dashboard Chalkboard, an Echoes and Footprints series, because the beat remembers, and the beat is the history. The classroom may close, but the highway stays open, and the beat remembers.